There is one rhythm, one habit that I started a couple years ago that to me has been a game changer for how I go throughout my year, both as a creative and just as a person. And so I want to share with you what that one thing is and talk through how you can implement that into your life and make this next year just a great year full of intentionality and creativity. So we call it the annual reset. It comes from this book called The Intentional Year by Glenn and Holly Packiam. This is just a really cool book. And the annual reset is an opportunity for anyone, either individuals, you can do it as a married couple, whatever you want to do, but it's an opportunity for people to really set the intentionality for their year and to establish rhythms to make that happen. I think oftentimes, especially as creatives, I know this is how I am. I tend to lean into sort of the big picture of the year and get into like wondering and imagining about cool ideas. And then it can be harder for me to think about that in a practical way. Like, okay, I have this really lofty idea. How do I incorporate that into my everyday? Or I have a goal. How do I get to that goal, right? If I have a goal for the year, what am I doing every single day that gets me to that goal? The intentional year format and going on this annual reset is a great format for that. I'm going to make a separate video that goes more into the details of what that is. So I'd love if you would follow along for that. But yeah, this annual reset has really helped me to be able to slow down, really think critically about what does the last year look like, the good and the bad, look ahead at the next year, and then what do I want in different areas of my life when it comes to rest, relationships, physical health, spiritual health, my work life, creative hobbies, creative outlets, friendships, all of that. Like, what goals do I want? What do I want my year to look like? And it's been a really cool thing to be able to set time aside to make that happen. So maybe you're watching this and you know it's not necessarily the beginning of the year or the end of the year, and you're kind of thinking, when should I take part in this? I would say an annual reset can happen at any time of the year. It doesn't have to be at the end of a year preparing for the new year. Again, my wife and I, we always do this in January because I work in ministry and December is busy. And then typically we actually do it at the end of January. And when we're doing that, we're just looking ahead at the next 12 months and saying, what do we want for the next 12 months? And so you can do that too. Maybe for you, it's like, I don't have time to get away for a weekend until the summer. Okay, in the summer, you can either look ahead at the next, several months to finish out the year, or look ahead at the following 12 months from whenever you're doing your annual reset. It's just a cool opportunity, like I said, to really get intentional about, hey, what do I want my life to look like this year? What goals do I have? And practically speaking, put it in the calendar. How is this going to happen? It's really cool. So yeah, whether you want to check out this book, The Intentional Year, or just look up other videos, on how to do an annual reset. There's a lot of cool examples out there. But like I said, I'm gonna create another video, next video after this, just talking through like the practical, like do this, then this, then this, and just kind of share what's helped me. And I'm looking forward to doing that this year, or doing our next annual reset, because I have engaged with this hobby through doing these videos on YouTube, and it's been such a cool way to take time to think about what I've been thinking about and what I've learning. I like this channel is an opportunity for me to share things that I'm learning in my life as a creative, things that I'm growing in, things that I'm thinking through, and whether it's just insight on my creative journey, tools, tips and tricks, whatever it is, right? So I'm looking forward to kind of assessing how has that gone, where do I want to go with this thing, and what rhythms can I put in place to make sure that this is successful, and also successful to like my own definition of success. Not just is it going to get views, but like, is this successful because I set the intention and I committed to the rhythms for it. So yeah, in whatever creative hobby you have, whatever creative output or endeavor that you are working towards, consider an annual reset to kind of help recalibrate what 2026 or whatever year could look like for you. So yeah, that'd just be my encouragement. Like I said, this is just something I am wrestling through. I'd love to know in the comments how this speaks to where you're at in your creative journey. Thank you for watching and stay creative.